study the graph, study the following information carefully and answer the question given below. So basically this is a data interpretation question. You can see that a graph has been given here, a sort of line graph, and it says that the line graph shows the volumes in centimeter cube. The line graph shows the volumes in centimeter cube. So looks like a simple data point, right? I mean, we have got some types here. If you look at the x-axis, we have got type A, type B, type C, type D. The y-axis has got some numbers here, right? So which I'm sure is the volume in centimeter cube as given here. Now there are 4 different lines, right? There's a green line, then there's a red one, there's a purple line, and there's one in blue color, right? Now what does these represent? I think the details have been given here, right? The blue line is for cylinder, the red one is for cone, the green one here is for cube, and the one that is in purple is for cuboid, right? Now, so clearly the question is going to be on mensuration. I mean, this data interpretation, like you all can understand now, is on mensuration, because we have talked about different 3D objects here, right? Cylinder, cone, cube, cuboid, and then it also talks about volume as the key point here. So I think simple data, there's nothing complex about reading the graph. Of course, some of the values are missing. So you can see that like for this purple line, for example, which represents the cuboid, there is no data for type A. This value is missing here, right? Then similarly for type C, again, the number is missing. Some numbers have been given, but not all the numbers. Like for the red line, which indicates cone, for type B, the number is missing, right? Then for the blue line, again, type B and type C is missing. So we don't really know what type A, type B, type C and type D are, but looks like different types of these solid objects here, right? Now, before I move on to the questions here, you all have to read and understand the data carefully, right? I mean, this is of course a simple one. Volumes have been given, but otherwise, remember, try and analyze what all can be extracted from the given data, right? I'm sure most of the times we end up, performing well in data interpretation because we don't read the data carefully, right? We jump to the questions. We are in a hurry. You know that time is limited. So you move on to question number 1 without analyzing the given data. Spend some 30-45 seconds, try and find out what all can be obtained from the data, and then move on. That would make your performance better, right? That would make it easy for you to solve the questions. Anyways, nothing much to talk about. I mean, simple point is, if I have to find out the volume of cone A, type A of cone, right? Cone of type A, it's 594, right? If I have to, let's say, check the volume of the cylinder of type D, the cylinder of type D is 891, right? The cylinder of type D is 891. Then let's say the cuboid of type B, right? What's the volume of the cuboid of type B? So type B cuboid, the volume is 693. I think numbers are given there. Now, if you carefully observe, I think the numbers which are not given on the graph here can be clearly extracted from the y-axis here. I think if you observe, only those numbers which are a little typical have been mentioned. Like for example, let me say, let me choose this. Let's say if I have to find out the volume of cuboid of type A. Now you see, it exactly lies on this. There are some thin lines given in the foreground, right? So just move on and meet the y-axis. Where does it meet? It meets somewhere here. See, understand that between two consecutive lines here, dark lines here, the difference is how much? 50, 300 to 350, 350 to 400, 400 to 450. So 50 is the difference between two consecutive values here. And if you observe, there are these have been split into five segments, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. You see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 segments. So basically, if the line, let's say, wherever the graph is meeting somewhere in the first line, I can say it is 10. Whatever is the base plus 10. If it is on the second line, 20, then 30, then 40, and then 50, right? So for example, if the value is between 900 and 950, and the graph meets the third line, what does it mean? I mean, second line, let's say. So first line would mean 900 plus 10. Second line would mean 900 plus 20. I mean, you should be able to read this. I can maybe zoom this a little bit to explain this, right? Like for example, look at this now. Right, 900 to 950. I'm sure you all understand this, but just for the sake of, for the benefit of those who have not tried such question in the past. So 900 to 950, there are 5 divisions. So each division would mean 10, right? So 910, 920, 930, 940, 950, and so on. Okay. So you got to clearly understand that. So very simple, volumes of different types of objects, which are of again 4 different types, have been given here. Now let me present the first question to you all, which is on your screens now. Look at this. The question number 1 based on this data here. It says type C cube is cut into 2 centimeter cubes. What is the percentage increase in the total surface area after such cutting? So there's this type C cube, right? The graph has been given here on the right hand side. So type C cube has been cut into 2 centimeter cubes. Type C cube has been cut into 2 centimeter cubes. What is the percentage increase in the total surface area after such cutting? So basically there is a big cube that we have, type C, right? Type C cube. Type C cube, you can see the volume is given as 512, right? Just to highlight, for type C cube, the volume here is 512, right? Type C, and cube is represented by this green line, right? So 512. So volume is 512. So there is a cube of, volume 512 centimeter cube, which has been cut into 2 centimeter cubes. Now this cube has been cut into smaller cubes of side 2 centimeter each. The question here is, what is the percentage increase in the total surface area after such cutting? What is the percentage increase in the total surface area after such cutting? Now, one point that I would like to highlight before we proceed with the solution is the average time which has been spent and the accuracy for this particular question. By the way, this question has been chosen from the mock test 1 provided by GradeUp. This I think question number 6 or 7 from that particular mock test. Now you see, average time spent to arrive at the answer in this question was 106 seconds, which is close to 2 minutes, right? 1 minute and 46 seconds. But the accuracy is just 14%, which means if 100 students have attempted this question, only 14 of them have got it right, and the rest 86 of them have got it wrong. So definitely very less percentage has got it right. And secondly, look at the average time spent, 106 seconds. 106 seconds is almost 2 minutes, right? Do we have 2 minutes in an IBPS preliminary examination? No. We have 100 questions with only 60 minutes of time, right? On an average, you have just about 36 seconds, or exactly 36 seconds per question. And here you spend 106 seconds, which is 3 times the average time given to you, right? 36 times 3 is 108. Anyway, let's not worry too much about this. I am leaving you all with this question for, let's say, 1 minute or a little more than that. It just depends on the numbers, kind of responses that I get. And your clock starts now. Let's see how many of you get it right. We have to find out the change in the total surface area after the larger cube is cut into smaller cubes. What is the percentage change in the total surface area after the larger cube has been cut into smaller cubes? 1 minute, at least 1 minute is what you have, 60 seconds. The clock has already started, waiting for responses to come in. Okay, I can see answers coming in already. Nikunj Agarwal has got 400%. Amit Negi has got 400%. Abdul Rauf says it is 100. So I think option 3 versus option 4. Bishnu has got 300%, which is not there in the options at all. On the other side, we have Sridhar, who has got 300%. Ajay says it is 75%, option 2. Vishnu Prasad has got 400%. Yeah. Preeti has got 400%. Preeti Deepak has got 4%, option 1. So you guys have covered all the options. I mean, 100% is left out, but otherwise, you've got 4%, you've got 75%, you've got 400%. Some of you have got what? 300%, which is option 5. None of these. Waiting for more responses before we look at the solution. I'm sure all those who have got the answer want me to try it out immediately, but let us all wait for your fellow students to follow up, right? I mean, all of you give it a proper try, and then we will discuss the solution. More responses, and if you're not able to solve it, if you have got stuck, please do mention that in the chat so that we get to know how many of you are stuck with this one. Like Sagar Singh has mentioned that he's stuck. Paras has got none of these, right? We have Monica, who's got 75%. Pooja Goel is struck. Varsha has got none of this. Vinay has got 300%. Arpita Majumdar, Arun, Harita, all these guys are stuck. Yeah. Sharath has mentioned that he's not able to solve. Sairam is struck. Manikanta has got none of these. Good. I can see a lot of you commenting that you are struck. So it shows that this is actually a difficult one, right? And those who have got it have got 400% mostly, right? Most of you have got 400%. All right. Okay, so clearly most of you have failed to arrive at the answer. You have got stuck or you have skipped it. Those who all have got it have got either 400% or 300%, option 5, none of this, right? So between these two, I think there's a fight. And some of you have also got 4% and 75%. So let's take up the solution now. I think enough time has been given. Let me discuss the solution with you all. So here we go. The question reads, type C cube is cut into 2 centimeter cubes. Type C cube is cut into 2 centimeter cubes. What is the percentage increase in the total surface area after such cutting? Now basically total surface area is one parameter that you need to understand, right? What is total surface area? I'm not going to get into too much of details here. You can refer to our videos to understand the basics here. But the total surface area for a cube is measured as 6 times the side square, right? Let's say the side of a cube is S. So what is the total surface area? Total surface area is going to be 6 into S square. See, understand, a cube has got, if you have to, get the reasoning behind this formula, what is it? Each cube has got 6 surfaces and each surface is like a square. What is the area of a square? Area of a square is side square. So S square is through that. And because there are 6 sides or 6 surfaces, we multiply it by 6 to get the total surface area, right? Each surface's area is S square. Total surface area will be 6S square, right? So this is what we need to know for you to be able to solve this one. If you do not know what a cube is or what is the total surface area, don't even try this question. Just skip and move to the next one. Now, what has happened here? There is a cube type C where the volume is 512, right? So let me explain you the solution for this one. Now, let's say there is a larger cube and a smaller cube. So volume of the larger cube is given as 512, right? 512 centimeter cube. Now, this larger cube has been cut into 2 centimeter cubes. First of all, if the volume is, what is the volume of a cube, by the way? Volume of a cube is side cube, right? This is another formula that we need to know, right? Volume of a cube is side cube. So if I have to find out the side of the larger cube, what will it be? See, this is like 8 cube. 512 is 8 cube, right? So I can say that the side of the larger cube is equal to 8. 512 is 8 cube, so side of the larger cube comes out to be 8. Now the side of the smaller cube is to be 2 centimeter, right? Side of the smaller cube, let's say SS, is supposed to be 2 centimeter, right? It is supposed to be 2 centimeter. So how do you solve this now? How do you solve this now? We know the volume of the we know the volume of the larger one from which we have got the side. We have also got the side of the smaller one. Let us find out the total surface area for the smaller one first of all, right? Now, if the side of the smaller cube is S, what will be the total surface area? What will be the total surface area? Total surface area of the smaller cube. See, total surface area is how much? 6 times S square. So 6 into 2 square, right? 6 into 2 square. 2 square 4. 6 4s is 24. So the total surface area of the smaller cube is 24. What will be the total surface area of the larger cube? Total surface area of the larger cube is going to be what? See, total surface area is 6 times S square. So 6 into S square. What is S here? Side is 8. 8 square. 6 into 8 square, right? Whatever that calculation comes out. 8 square is 64. So 6 into 64. How much is 6 times 64? 6 times 60 is 360. 6 times 4 is 24. So 360 plus 24 is 384. This is what I was referring to, right? When I said you should be able to do calculations mentally, you should not put pen on paper for finding out 6 into 8 square. 8 square is 64. 64 times 6 comes out to be 384. So we have got the total surface area of the larger cube. We have got the total surface area of each of the smaller cubes. See, there are multiple smaller cubes. From one large cube, you'll get multiple small cubes. So for each cube, the area is total surface is 24. But how many such cubes will be there? The number of smaller cubes. See, the number of smaller cubes will be equal to what? What will be the number of smaller cubes? 512 is the volume of each, larger cube. What will be the volume of the smaller cube? Volume of the smaller cube is going to be 2 cube, right? Side into side into side, which is 8. 512 by 8, this comes out to be 64. Which means we are going to get 64 cubes. 64 cubes of side 2 centimeter by cutting a larger cube of side 8 centimeter. Now to find out the total volume, or total surface area of all the cubes together, you should multiply these two values. You getting it? Overall total surface area of the smaller cubes, right? What will it be? See, we have got 64 cubes and each cube is of 24 centimeter square total surface area. So this is the total volume, total surface area, right? Overall total surface area. So now the two values that you need to focus on is this. The larger cube has got a total surface area of 384. All the smaller cubes put together have got a total surface area of 64 into 24. He's asking us to get the percentage increase. How do you find out percentage increase? Final value minus initial value by initial value into 100, right? Percentage increase is nothing but the difference in the two values divided by the base value multiplied by 100. So that comes out to be what? 64 times 24 minus 384. I think this 384 also, let's take it as, how do we get this 384? 6 into 8 square, right? So 64 times 6. I'm taking it as 64 times 6. You understand? There's no point in doing this calculation 384. Let's take it as 8 square is 64, 64 into 6. Divide by 64 into 6. 64 times 6 multiplied by 100. You're getting it? The total surface area of all the smaller cubes, 64 times 24 as calculated here. Total surface area of the larger cube is 64 into 6 into 8 square, which comes out to be 64 into 6. So, you know, this is how the formula works, right? Final value minus initial value by initial value, right? The initial value is 64 into 6. Initial value is nothing but the larger cube. Now 64 is common. See, again, this is smart. I mean, if you start multiplying 64 with 24 and then take the difference and all that, you will end up wasting a lot of your time. You should be smart enough to take common values, right? So that you can avoid your calculation. I mean, lengthy calculations. So 64 gets cancelled. We are left with what? 24 minus 6 by 6 into 100. 24 minus 6 is 18. 18 by 6 is 3. 3 into 100 is 300%. So your answer to this question would be option 5, none of this, 300%, right? Absolutely correct. All those who have got 300% are right. The change in the total surface area, the increase in the total surface area, percentage increase in the total surface area by doing this exercise is going to be 300%. I know this looks a little clumsy. I mean, if you see the number of steps involved and there's a lot of calculation, right? But then if you ask me, this is not the best of the ways to solve the question. While the answer is correct, no doubt 300% is the right answer. Option 5 is the correct answer. But if you are doing this, then you have not really followed the smart method of getting the answer, right? In my view, you can solve this question without putting pen on paper. All this is not needed. All this is not needed. All you have to know is the very basics of what happens when you're cutting a larger cube into a smaller cube, right? So let me now explain you the smart method of getting the answer, right? How do you solve this question in a smart way? Simple. I mean, I don't even need this much of space, but for the sake of explanation, I'll have to put it up. Understand, a cube has got how many surfaces? A cube has got 6 surfaces. See, surface area is because of surface area, total surface area is because of the number of surfaces, right? I mean, as the number of surfaces increase, the total surface area will also increase. So in general, a cube has got 6 surfaces, right? There are 6 surfaces. Now the larger cube, the larger cube had got 6 surfaces. What you need to understand here is how many cuts have been made to get these 64 smaller cubes. How many smaller cubes did we get? We got 64 smaller cubes. To get these 64 smaller cubes, how many cuts did you make? Right? So there's a little bit of diagram that I may have to draw for you to explain this, but understand, we have got a cube like this. I mean, I'm trying to draw a 3D view of this. All this drama is not needed in the exam. I'm doing this for the sake of explanation, right? Don't draw this diagram in the exam. You won't be awarded extra marks for this. Yeah? This is how a cube looks like. Now, the side is 8 centimeter. This side is 8 centimeter. Each side is 8 centimeter. The larger cube, right? Each side is 8. You want cubes of side 2 centimeter. You want cubes of side 2 centimeter. So basically, this 8 will be divided as 2, 2, 2 and 2, right? 2, 2, 2 and 2. But to get each 2, how many cuts would be made? 3 cuts. I mean, to get all these 2s, we'll make 3 cuts. Cut number 1, cut number 2 and cut number 3. Understand? 3 cuts would give you 4 sections. You're getting it? Whenever you make 1 cut, you will get 2 pieces. The second cut will get you 2 more pieces. The third cut will get you 2 more. So altogether you'll get 4 pieces. 3 cuts will result in 4 pieces. You understand? While 8 by 2 gives you 4, don't take as 4 cuts. Number of cuts would be 3. That's very important, right? Side is 8, larger side is 8, smaller side is 2. 8 by 2 is equal to 4. You're making 4 parts, but to make 4 parts, you need only 3 cuts. Likewise, so this is the cut made in terms of length. But let's say in terms of breadth, what happens? Again, the same argument. The side is 8, but this 8 has to be split into 4 segments of 2 each. So how many cuts will be made? 3 cuts will be made, right? Then again, horizontally, this side is 8. This total is 8. This has to be cut into 4 segments of 2 each. So how many cuts? 3 cuts. So altogether, how many cuts are you making? 9 cuts. 3 cuts on each side, so total number of cuts would be 9. I mean, this involves a little bit of visualization, right? I mean, putting it up on a graph or putting it up on a paper would be a little difficult, but try and visualize what is happening here. You are making 3 cuts on each surface to get the required segments. And there are 3 dimensions. Basically, there are 3 dimensions, right? This is a 3D figure. So on each dimension, you need to do 3 cuts. On each dimension, you'll have to do 3 cuts. Total how many dimensions? 3 dimensions. So 3 times 3, 9 cuts. So number of cuts is equal to 9. Number of cuts is equal to 9. Now, here comes the interesting part. You got to understand that with each cut, you get 2 more surfaces. With each cut, you get 2 more surfaces. Let me come to the video for explaining this. I know you might be wondering, that this is taking so long, but understand I'm not solving it, I'm explaining it to you. So it would take a little longer, but once you've understood this, it would become really very easy for you to crack this one. So you've got a cube, right? How many surfaces has it got? 6 surfaces, right? Total 6 surfaces, 4 lateral surfaces, then there is a base and the top. Now when you make one cut in any dimension anywhere, right? Forget about what does it need exactly and all that. But when you make one cut, it results in 2 more surfaces, right? You open it up, so you get one surface inside this part and other surface inside this part. You getting it? Like let's say this is not really a cube, it's like a cuboid, right? It's like a cuboid. So when total 6 surfaces, when I make one cut, you'll get 2 more surfaces. When I make the second cut, I'll get 2 more surfaces. And I make the third cut, I'll get 2 more surfaces. So each cut is resulting in 2 surfaces, right? Each cut would result in 2 surfaces. How many cuts have we made here? 9 cuts. 9 cuts would result in how many surfaces? 18 additional surfaces. 9 times 2, 18 more surfaces would come into picture. Initially, I had only 6 surfaces with me, but after doing this exercise, I'll get 18 more surfaces. 6 plus 18, 24 surfaces. So whatever, the initial total surface area was because of 6 surfaces. Now the final total surface area will be with 24 surfaces. And the area of each surface remains the same, right? I mean, we are not going to dismantle that whole cube into smaller cubes. Let it be like this in the same thing with number of cuts, right? All the 64 cubes put together to make that one large cube. The point is, if I open it up, I'm going to get 18 more surfaces. So what was 6 initially has become 24. It has grown how many times? 4 times. But actual increment is how much? 18. 18 on what? 18 surfaces, 18 new surfaces on 6 initial surfaces. 18 by 6 is what? 3, which means you have increased the total surface area 3 times, and that is 300%. I hope you have understood the concept. I mean, this needs a little bit of visualization. I mean, putting it up on the screen is gonna be difficult. I've tried whatever best I could do in that limited space, but understand that each cut, you got to visualize it, because if the similar question is asked next time in the exam, you should be like 8 seconds to arrive at the answer. As simple as that. Because you know, when a smart student does it, he knows that okay, 8 centimeter cube has to be made into 2 centimeter cubes. I need 3 cuts because there are total 4 segments. I need 3 cuts, right? So 3 cuts on 3 dimensions each. So 3 times 3 is 9. 9 cuts means 18 more surfaces. 18 more surfaces. 18 more surfaces meaning what? Initially there were 6, now there are 18 more. So increment is 300%. I hope all of you have followed this. Somebody says this can come in mains but not in prelims. Mains or prelims, the concept has to be clear. Okay, we have questions here. Let me address those questions now. So somebody here says that but initial surfaces were of smaller area than the formed surfaces. No, that's what I've told you, right? Let the cube be intact. We are just making the cuts. 3 cuts lengthwise, 3 cuts breadthwise, and 3 cuts the heightwise. Right? You don't have to dismantle everything and then make small. That's what we have done in the regular process, right? What did you do in the regular, I mean, in the conventional method? Each cube is of 2 centimeter side. Total surface area would be, 4 times 6, 24. And then you have calculated. That's what made it lengthy. But if you just go by number of cuts, it would take hardly any time for you to arrive at the answer. Let me change. No. I mean, I hope all of you have followed. Yeah. Remember, it won't be 4 cuts. It will be 3 cuts. 4 parts. So only 3 cuts are needed. This is the very basics, right? I mean, like for example, let's say I have a 1 meter piece of cloth. I want this to be into 2 halves. I want this cloth to be into 2 halves, half meter and half meter. So do we need 2 cuts or 1 cut? There's only 1 cut that's needed, right? This is like very basics. If I need, let's say there's a 3 meter cloth, we want 3 pieces of 1 meter each. There's a 3 meter cloth. We need 3 pieces of 1 meter each. Now instant response would be 3 cuts, but it's not 3. It's only 2. You make the first cut after 1 meter. Then you make the second cut after second meter. You get 3 pieces. Right? So don't go wrong. If you go wrong in the number of cuts, then your answer will be wrong there. So the basic idea is this. If I want 17 pieces, I need only 16 cuts. If I want 47 pieces, I need only 46 cuts. Right? If I want 784 pieces, then I need 783 cuts. You're getting it? So that's how you go for it. Clear? Got it, all of you? We have a question here. Can we use this technique for any dimension? Yes. You can use it for, I mean, I'm assuming by dimension you mean any size. Yeah, you can use it for any size. Let us take a different number, right? Let's say the size is, how much is the size? let's say there is a cube of volume 125 centimeter cube. The volume is 125 centimeter cube, right? And you want smaller cubes of side 5 centimeter. What would you do? Okay, you want smaller cubes of side 1 centimeter, not 5 centimeter. So 125 is the volume. 125 is the volume, meaning what? The side is 5, because 5 into 5 into 5 will give you 125, right? So 125 is the volume of the cube. The side is 5 centimeters, right? You want smaller cubes of side 1 centimeter each. So 5 centimeter has to be split into 5 pieces of 1 centimeter each, which means there are 4 cuts. So 4 into 4 into 4, right? 4 into 4 into 4. 4 cuts lengthwise, 4 cuts breadthwise, 4 cuts heightwise. So 4 into 4 into 4 would make it 64 cuts. Sorry, total how many cuts? I mean, we'll get whatever number of pieces. 4 plus 4 plus 4. 4 cuts, 4 cuts and 4 cuts. Total how many cuts? 12 cuts. 12 cuts means 24 new surfaces. 24 new surfaces. Right? Based on that, calculate. 24 by whatever, no, 24 on 6. Initially there was always the initial number of surfaces are 6. Now 24 new surfaces have come into picture, which means the increment is 24 by 6, 400%. All right. So that's about it. I think let's not spend any more time here. I hope all of you followed. If you haven't followed it, don't worry. This video will be made available for you as an archive. You can refer to that again and get the clarity. Okay. So let me present to the next one. Anyway, before we just jump to the next one, the idea is that 9 cuts would mean 12 surfaces. Sorry, 9 into 2, 18 surfaces. 9 into 2, 18 new surfaces. Right? He's asking us to find out the percentage change. What is percentage change? Final minus initial, which is nothing but the difference. The difference is 18, right? Final minus initial. 18 upon 6 into 100. 18 by 6 into 100 is 300%. Okay. So option 5, none of this is the answer. You can compare the two solutions and figure out which one works for you. Let me jump to the next one now. Here we go. The next question on your screens. It says a solid metal cylinder of type D is melted and recast into 2 cones in the proportion 4:5 in terms of volume. Keeping the height same as 14 centimeter. What would be the percentage change in the flat surface area before and after? So this again is on percentage change. He's asking us to find out the percentage change in the flat surface area. Be careful, flat surface area he says. Here the type of objects involved are cylinder and cones. So you need to know what is a flat surface, right? Flat surface is where there is no curvature, right? So we have to find out the percentage change in the flat surface before and after. So some transformation has happened here. A cylinder of type D is converted to 2 cones in the proportion of 4:5, keeping the height as 14 centimeter. Keeping the height as 14 centimeter. So I'll leave you with this again for at least 1 minute. Time starts now. Trust all of you have followed the previous one. If not, don't panic. You can refer to the videos again once this is archived. Look at the next question. सागर सिंह says अब ये flat surface क्या है? Total surface या hollow surface? सागर, flat surface. Go by the term flat. ना flat का मतलब क्या होता है? Flat is, you know, without any curvature, right? So if you look at a cylinder, it has got 3 surfaces. The base is a circle, the top is a circle, and then there's a lateral surface area. So here we are referring to the base and the top. The base and the top are flat surfaces. The lateral surface or the curved surface is not a flat surface. Yeah? Okay, anybody who's got the answer to this one? 30%, 50%, 20%, 75%, and 10% are the options. Quick, 30%, right? Anurag and Akash have got 30%. Arun Prakash, on the other hand, says it should be 10. Gomati has got 50, right? So 10, 30, 50. This is like some auction that's going on, and you guys are increasing your bids. 50%. Chandra Neeraj has also got 50. Bhavya, Ashish, they've got 30. I think most of you have got 30%, but others are stuck. See, if you have not got the answer or if you are unable to solve, please do mention that in the chat so that we can gauge how many of you are getting stuck in these questions. Vishnu Prasad has got 20%. So you have covered option 1, option 2, option 3 and option 5. 30, 50, 20 and 10. Only 75% is left out. Somebody mark that so that we are, you know, covering everything possible there. Deepthi says this looks to be very tricky. Yeah, only looks to be tricky, Deepthi. When we solve it, you will find out that this was an easy one. A lot of you have mentioned that you have struck. In fact, most of you are struck. Sagar Singh, Pooja Shri, Vaishnavi, Revati, Preetam, Alpa, Sharanu, Manas, Athira, Bhanu says not able to do. Namrata. Sid Shaw says it should be 75%. And I'm sure he has not got it. He's just mentioned that so that we can cover everything. Yeah. Should we take this up? What would be the percentage change in the flat area before and after? What is the percentage change in the flat area before and after? Okay, I think we have spent enough time. Let us move a little faster now. I may not discuss the basics involved here. I'm sure all of you would know the basic formula and the basic concepts there. Let us discuss the smart methods to solve the questions, right? So here we go. The question says a solid metal cylinder of type D. Solid metal cylinder of type D. Now let me first focus on that. Type D cylinder. Type D cylinder is 891. Yeah. So solid metal cylinder of type D, which is like of volume 891, is melt and recast into two cones. So basically there's one cylinder which has been cast into two cones in the proportion 4:5. In the proportion 4:5, which is the volume. Keeping the height same as 14 centimeter. Keeping the height same as 14 centimeter. What would be the percentage change in the flat surface area before and after? So if you have to kind of envisage this is how it is, right? There's a cylinder. Don't comment on my drawing here. I won't be awarded marks for that anyway, and so would others be in the exam, right? So basically there's one cylinder of type D, which is the volume is 891, right? The volume is 891. This has been converted to two cones. It has been melted and cast into two cones of proportion 4:5. So volume ratio here is 4:5 between the two cones, right? Keeping the height same. The height is same 14 centimeter, right? Here the height is 14, and for the cones also the height is 14 for both the cones. The height is same, right? 14 is the height. There's no change in the height here. Now, what would be the percentage in the flat area before and after? See, understand the flat area before was this. There were two circles, right? Here there's a flat area, and on top there's a flat area. And after that also there are two circles, but yeah, two different circles. Earlier the two circles were the same. Now there are two different circles because their volumes are different. Yeah. So basically, one cylinder has been converted to two cones, and the volume of these two cones are in the ratio of 4:5. Yeah. Now, if you actually ask me, we don't even need to worry about this volume at all. This 891 in my view is not needed at all. Even if this 891 is not given, we'll be able to solve the question. So I'm sure some of you would have tried using 891, breaking 891 into 4:5 and all that, but that drama is not needed. Yeah, without using the volume, we can solve this question. So let me explain that smart method to you directly. See, what does it say? This is the volume of the cylinder. Volume of the cylinder. Right? This is volume of cone 1. This is volume of cone 2. Now, volume of cone 1 and cone 2 are in what ratio? 4:5, which means 4x and 5x. Now, you all know the basic law here, right? Whenever you convert one solid to other solid, the dimensions and the shape and the look and feel may change. What remains constant? The volume is constant. Volume is always constant. Yes or no? So, whatever is the initial volume, the final volume would remain the same. This is very, very basic, and this is in fact model number 5 of mensuration. If you go through the TalentSprint videos, you would know that this is model number 5, where we have discussed about questions where volume is constant. So this is one example where the volume remains a constant, right? Volume remains constant. Now, if the volume of cone 1 is 4x, constant meaning what? The total initial volume will be equal to the total final volume. So what is the total final volume? Total final volume is 4x plus 5x. 4x plus 5x, which is equal to 9x. That should be the initial volume, 9x. Yes or no? Because if the total final volume is 9x, total initial volume also should be 9x, right? Now let me just clear this up to get some space for me to work on. I am assuming all of you have understood the diagram there. Diagram meaning how the shapes are changed. Okay, now let me just explain you. The volume of cylinder is to volume of cone 1 is to volume of cone 2. How much will it be? Will it not be 9:4:5? Simple. Because volume of cone 1 and cone 2, 4:5 is directly given to us. Volume of cylinder will be the total of these two. So 4 plus 5, 9. That's it. I don't have to worry about the absolute value. I can just play with this ratio here. Now find out what is the volume of a cylinder. See, we all have to work on the radius here. What is volume of a cylinder? Volume of a cylinder is pi r square h. So pi, let's say the radius is r1. Let me take r1, r2, r3, right? r1 square, h, height is h, is to, what is the volume of a cone? 1/3 pi r square. So r2 square, height is h. And then this is 1/3 pi r3 square h equals to 9:4:5. Now let me explain you something before we proceed. R1, R2 and R3 are the volumes respectively. Volume of cylinder, volume of cone, and volume of cone 1 and volume of cone 2, right? R1, R2, R3 in that order. Why did we not take different heights here? Because it clearly mentioned that the height is same. Don't substitute 14 and waste your time there. Height is same. Height of cylinder is same as the height of the two cones. So anyway, it gets cancelled. It is common. Now, if you see in this ratio, pi and h are common everywhere. Pi and h is common. That gets eliminated. So what are we left with? R1 square is to 1 by 3 R2 square is to 1 by 3 R3 square equals to 9 is to 4 is to 5. And if you work smartly, you should not even put pi and h on paper. You should be able to visualize that pi and h is going to be common because height is same and pi is a constant. So forget about pi and h. Directly you should write that R1 square is to R2 square by 3 is to R3 square by 3 equals to 9 is to 4 is to 5. What I can do is I can multiply the second and the third terms by 3 on both the sides so that we get, we can eliminate this 3 here. So I'm multiplying the second term and the third term by 3 on both the sides. So when you multiply by 3, this 3 and 3 gets cancelled. Here it becomes 4 into 3. You understand? 4 into 3, 12, and this is 5 into 3, 15. So basically, what are we saying? R1 square is to R2 squared is to R3 squared equals to 9 is to 12 is to 15. 9 is to 12 is to 15, and which can be further reduced to 3 is to 4 is to 5. 3 is to 4 is to 5. 3 is to 4 is to 5. Right? 3 times 3, 3 times 4, 3 times 5. 3 is to 4 is to 5. Okay? R1 square, R2 square, and R3 square. You have understood? We have got R2 square by 3 and R3 square by 3. So we are eliminating this 3. So multiplying second and third terms by 3. So if you multiply this side by 3, multiply the other side also by 3. So 4 into 3 gives you 12, 5 into 3 gives you 15. So 9, 12, 15, which makes it 3 is to 4 is to 5. So what do we know now? We know now the ratio of the squares of the radii. The ratio of the squares of the radii. What is he asking us to find out? What will be the percentage change in the flat surface area before and after? Now again, I'm not getting into the basics. You should know that the flat surface area for cylinder. What is the flat surface area for a cylinder? Flat surface area for cylinder will be what? 2 pi r square. See, there are two circles, right? Each circle is pi r square. So 2 circles will make it 2 pi r square. And for cone is how much? For cone again there is only one circle, so pi r square. Pi r square. So for a cylinder it is 2 pi r square. For a cone it is pi r square. He is asking us to find out the percentage change. Now, what is the initial flat surface area? Flat surface area initially. There's only one cylinder, right? So it will be 2 pi r square. See, understand, r square is 3. R square is 3. This is 3 for cylinder. 2 into 3, 6. 2 into 3, 6. I can say 6 pi. You're getting it? 2 r square into pi. So r square is 3. 2 pi into 3. 2 pi into 3 makes it 6 pi. What is the flat surface area finally? What will be the final flat surface area? See, pi r square. But there are two cones. First cone, the r square is 4. Second cone, the r square is 5. So we will get pi 4 plus pi 5. You understand? Pi into r square 4. Pi into r square 5. So pi 4 plus pi 5, which is 4 pi plus 5 pi, 9 pi. So initial value was 6 pi. Final value is 9 pi. He's asking us to find out the percentage change. 6 is, forget about pi again. Pi is constant, in fact. Smart people should not put pi on paper. That's a waste of time, right? Waste of your time. Initial value was 6. 6 into some constant. Final value is 9 into the same constant. How much is the increase? 3 is the increase. On what base value? On base value of 6. So 3 upon 6 is how much? Half. Half is 50%. So your answer should be option 2. You're getting it? He's asking us to get the percentage change. Percentage change will be final minus initial by initial into 100. So that's like 9 minus 6 by 6 into 100. So 9 minus 6 is 3. 3 by 6 is half. Half of 100 is 50. So your answer will be 50%. Please do not go by the length of the solution and the time that we have spent here. Let me highlight all that should not be put on paper. All this that we are writing on paper is a waste of time. Don't write these steps in the exam, right? All that I'm highlighting in red is not required in the exam. Like you should not be putting up pi, h and all that. You're just killing your time, right? I mean, writing this pi and h everywhere and then cancelling it itself would take 3 seconds, 4 seconds. And that 3-4 seconds is a waste of time, right? Right? Don't even put this formula, percentage change equals to final minus initial by initial into 100. This is not needed. Everything that you see in red here is a waste of time. You can do this mentally, right? These are formulae again. Do you have to write it on paper? No, save your time. Don't write this step 9 is to 12 is to 15. You should directly be able to evaluate it as 3 is to 4 is to 5. And this also in my view is not needed. You should know that this is 3 times 2, 6 and 4 plus 5, 9. 6 becomes 9, which means 50% increase. So even this last step is not needed. Now you might ask me that why did I put it on paper? I have put it on paper so that I can explain to you easily. But when you do it yourself, cut down the number of steps that you write. Okay, so try to keep it smart, cut down the number of steps, and I'm sure you'll be able to arrive at the answer much faster. Okay, option 2, 50% is the final answer. All that you see in red is actually red alert. You should not be writing any of those steps on paper. Did you all get this? Yeah, I hope all of you have got it. I have a question here from Sharanu. Is it possible to solve this question in 1 minute? Definitely yes. See, don't go with the amount of time that we have spent on explanation, right? I'm not solving, I'm explaining it to you. Practice is the key. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. Isha has not followed. I'm sure there will be a few others who did not follow it. Don't worry. I mean, I can repeat it for you. I would love to repeat the solution, but that's not the best use of our limited time that we have here, right? So let me jump to the next question. All of you can watch the recorded archives of these videos, right? We'll make it available for each one of you. Let me now present the next question to you all. The correct answer here, like I've said, is 50%, option 2. Next question on your screens now. Here's the next one. Type B cone was molded and made into a type C cylinder. If the radius 6 cm is decreased by 16 2/3% while molding, then find the total surface area of type C cylinder. You have 1 minute for this. Your clock starts now. Well, you can see that average time which people have spent here is 10 seconds, but the accuracy is really low. Only 21% of people have got it right. You anyway have 36 seconds in the exam. For quant, you have the luxury of spending a few more seconds, because reasoning and English language will not take 36 seconds per question on an average. So overall, I think if you can crack these questions in 45 seconds to 60 seconds, you should be doing good in the exam. Okay, so let's see how many of you get it right. Shubham Joshi says, what about number series? Shubham, don't worry, I'll also pick up some questions on number series, and the idea is to give you the best way to solve number series questions as well. Sagar Singh says 10 seconds में तो skip ही होगा. I think that is right. I mean 10 seconds में क्या ही कर पाएंगे? By the time you read the question and understand it, it would take 10 seconds. So I think काफी लोगों ने इसे skip किया होगा exam में. I mean answer ही नहीं किया इसे. अंगूर खट्टे हैं types, right? कुछ नहीं समझ में आ रहा है. Anyway, all of you try it out. 92. Vishnu has got 92, which is option 3, waiting for others to respond. Only one answer so far. Tapasvi says definitely skip. I'm glad that at least you guys are skipping it now, right? Vishnu has got 92, option 3. Yeah. Anurag has got 84. Anurag has got 84, which is option 2. Yeah, Gomati has got option 3, 92. So I think most of you have got 92 as the answer, option 3. Satish has got 93. Rajesh, on the other hand, has got 84. Tough question, huh? Jits has got 84. Vinay has skipped it. Sagar says I would skip it. Chandra Prakash has got 90, which is option 5. Option 5, yeah. Okay, 5 more seconds and then we'll take it up. 84 is the most common response that I see here. Jai Krishna, Chandra Neeraj, Jits, all these guys have got 84. On the other hand, we have many students who got 92, which is option 3. So I think we are fighting between 2 and 3, option 2 or option 3. Rahul says it's not so tough. Yeah, Rahul, I'm glad that you have got it. But your fellow friends, I mean, all your fellow students are finding it to be tough. Look at the number of people who have skipped it. DFG से सर आप ही सॉल्व कर दो. भाई मैं तो करूँगा ही, डोंट वरी, बट मेरे करने से कुछ नहीं होगा ना. इफ यू गेट इट योरसेल्फ इट विल बी ग्रेट. एंड वी हैव अ डिफरेंट आंसर नाउ. विष्णु सेज 134. Chalo, time is up. Janani has got 168. So you have covered all the options then. 92, 84, 134, 168, and all those who are skipped, I would say they have marked the answer as none of this. So I think all the options have been covered. It's time now for us to decide which is the right one. Here we go. Type B cone was molded and made into a type C cylinder. If radius 6 cm is decreased by 16 2/3% while molding, then find the total surface area of type C cylinder. So basically a cone is being molded and made into a cylinder. What's the conversion? Cone to cylinder. Like earlier we had seen cylinder being converted to 2 cones. Now one cone is being transformed to 1 cylinder. Now type B cone, look at the value. Type B cone. Where is cone? Cone is this red graph. Okay. So type B cone, the value is not given. But let's find out. I think if you observe closely, this is one segment above 650. So our initial discussion, right? We have discussed how to get this value. So it is exactly on 660 in my view. I mean, if I draw a horizontal line here and try to meet the y-axis, I'll hit at what point? 650 plus 10, 660. So basically type B cone, the volume is 660. Now this was made into a type C cylinder. Type C cylinder, do we have the value? Type C cylinder is this. Type C cylinder, huh? Type C cylinder is this line. Yeah. How much is this? Same 660. Yeah. Of course, the volume would remain the same, by the way. We don't even have to check. It is foolish to check what will be the volume of this, because you know that volume remains constant, right? We discussed it a few seconds ago. Volume is constant. Any transformation you do, volume is constant. And the graph proves it. 660 here, the same 660. You see this red line and this blue line are on the same line, right? On the same horizontal line. So 660 is the volume there. Now the radius 6 cm is decreased by 16 2/3% while molding. So cone's radius, the radius of the cone was 6 cm. It has been reduced by 16 2/3%. Now you have to be good at this calculation. 16 2/3% is like 16.66%. Right? This is 16.66%, which is equal to 1/6 of the value, right? You should be very good at converting percentages to fractions. You should know what percentage is what fraction if it is in the standard list of values that we have. And 16.6 is the standard value, 1/6. So basically the radius has been decreased by 1/6 when you are doing this conversion. So what will be the radius of the cylinder? Radius of the cylinder will be 6 minus. So why are we taking minus? Because it has been decreased. Decreased by how much? 1/6. 1/6 of the initial radius. It is equal to 5. So what was 6 initially has become 5 now in terms of radius. Don't write this step in the exam. You should know that 6 being reduced by 1/6 will result in 5. This is a waste of time. If you're putting this step in the on paper, then you're wasting your time. This is the mental calculation. So far you have put nothing on paper. You have understood that 6 has become 5. Now find the total surface area of type C cylinder. Find the total surface area of type C cylinder. First of all, type C cylinder, volume of cylinder. What is volume of cylinder? Pi r square h, right? Pi r square h. Now this pi r square h equals to 660. We have already calculated this. Substitute the values now. So pi is 22/7. R has been calculated as 5. So 5 square will make it 25 into h. So what are we trying to do? We are trying to find out the height first. See, we want the total surface area of type C cylinder. You know that total surface area of a cylinder is 2 pi r into r plus h. You should know all these basics, right? Total surface area of a cylinder is 2 pi r into r plus h. Now for us to find out the total surface area, I should know the radius and the height. Radius we have already calculated, radius of cylinder 5. Now we are trying to calculate the height based on the other values given there. So do the calculation. This goes, I think, 30 times. So height will be how much? 30 into 7 by 25, right? Height is going to be 30 into 7 by 25. Simplify this. This is 5 times and 6 times. So 6 7 is 42. 42 by 5. 42 by 5 will be 8.4. So we can conclude that the height of this cylinder is going to be 8.4, right? 6 into 7, 42 upon 5, or 1.2 into 7, 8.4. So 8.4 centimeter. You know the radius and you know the height. Now what do you have to find out? Total surface area. Total surface area of cylinder is equal to, you have to remember the formula, right? 2 pi r into r plus h. Substitute. So 2 into pi. I think answers are all given in terms of pi. So let's not substitute 22/7. Let's take it as pi itself. 2 pi into r is 5 and r plus h. 5 plus 8.4. Right? So 5 plus 8.4 is 13.4. 2 into 5 is 10. 10 into 13.4 is 134. 134 pi. 134 pi centimeter square. Right? It is total surface area. So total surface area of the cylinder formula is 2 pi r into r plus h. Remember, total surface area. Total surface area would mean what? The base plus the top plus the lateral surface. So 2 pi r into r plus h, very simple. R comes out to be 5 because radius of 6 has been reduced by 16.66%, and the height comes out to be 8.4 by substituting the other values in the volume. So 134 pi, option 1 is the correct answer, and disappointing to find that most of you got it wrong. I think most of you marked 84 or 92, which are all wrong, and 160 also is wrong. Correct answer is 134 pi centimeter square. In my view, this was the easiest of all the questions that we have solved so far. I mean, others were like a little tricky, right? This was straight, but even then most of you flunked. I mean, now I can see a lot of you getting the answers, many of you getting the answers as 134, right? Sushant and DFG. Apurva says it was doable. Yes, of course, it was doable. This was simple. Parita Sharma says this is simple. It was. Sagar, Ashish says TSA formula I forgot. Mensuration is all based on formula. If you cannot remember the formula, somebody has asked me, how do you get 25? Baba, radius is 5. R square will be 5 into 5, 25. Should we go for the next one? I'm sure there won't be any queries here. This was the easiest of the lot that we have solved so far. Let me present the next question to you all now. Here we go. Next question on your screens. Now this is on cuboid. See what it says. If the length, breadth and height of a type A cuboid are increased by 5, 10 and 20% respectively, find the increased volume of type A cuboid. Good. This is an interesting one. He's given us the change in the length, in the breadth and in the height of a type A cuboid. 5, 10 and 20 respectively. Right? All these 3 dimensions have increased. So find the increased volume of cuboid. I'm sure you can solve this question in about 45 seconds, not more than that. 45 seconds is more than enough for you to get the answer. This time I would want more and more responses. You should not be skipping this question. Easy one to solve. Take as much time as you want. I mean, as much meaning maybe a couple of minutes, let's say. But let me tell you that if you play smart, you can get the answer in like 45 seconds on the higher side. Manoj Kumar says 16.6. I'm referring to those comments which are for the previous question, right? Manoj says, how did you convert 16.66 to 1/6? Manoj, for that you need to understand the basics of percentages, right? I mean, if you look at the TalentSprint's video on the concept of percentages, we have discussed all this. How to convert percentages to fractions, a list of standard percentages into fractions. So you should go through that video. I think some of you are struggling with the initial volume, so I'll help you out. So type A cuboid, right? Cuboid is this purple line. So type A cuboid is this, type A and cuboid. What is this value here? I think 720 plus, it is, sorry, 700 plus, it is 2 segments above that. So 720 is the value. Let me help you out with that. I mean, I can zoom in and show it to you if you want. You see? What do we do here? Look at this. Let me clear everything on the screen first. Because you should be able to do it yourself. I mean, you should be able to analyze this next time. Look at this. 700 is this base. This is type A cuboid, right? So 700 plus 10 plus 10, 720, right? So that value 720. Okay. Anyway, let me give you the value. 720 is the value. Now find out the answer. Let's see now how many of you get it. 720 for type A cuboid. Okay, answers have started coming in. 997.92. Hemant, Balaji, Jits, Sairam has got 277.92, option 5. Vidya has got 997.92, which is option 4. Good. Prince Kumar has got 993.6. Is that there in the options? Yes, option 3. But most of you, I guess, have got option 4. Krishna Chaitanya has got option 4. Krishna Chaitanya, please hold your emotions. I can see that you have marked the answer as option 4. Don't spam the chat box. Simple one. Rahul says this is simple. Abdul has got 277. Banashri Paul has got 273.6. But yes, the common response, the most common response here is option 4, 997.92. So let's take this up now, right? Let's take this up. Now here again, let me read the question first. It says, if if the length, breadth and height of type A cuboid, we have already seen the volume is 720 centimeter cube, right? Now, if the length, breadth and height, each of the dimensions of this type A cuboid are increased by 5%, 10% and 20% respectively, find the increased volume of the type A cuboid. So basically the dimensions have changed, right? Have been altered. Each of the dimensions have changed, increased. Length increased by 5%, the breadth increased by 10% and the height increased by 20%. He's asking us to find out the new volume. By the way, you all know that volume of a cuboid, or you must know that volume of a cuboid is length into breadth into height. Length into breadth into height. So the initial volume is 720. What would be the new volume? Now the first and foremost point to be understood is option 2 and option 5 can never be the answers. See, he's asking us to find out the increased volume. What do you mean by increased volume? The new volume. Increased volume means what? The new volume. If the initial volume itself is 720, how can the new volume become less than 720? It should be more than 720, right? Obviously the answer has to be more than 720. Now this is why I say options are very important. See, most of us, read the question and jump to the solution. Look at the options. Always throw a glance at the options and see if you can eliminate some of them. Like here, we have been able to eliminate 2. If I'm lucky and 2 more options get eliminated, let's say, by the same logic, that the answer should be more than 720, I don't have to do anything. I can directly mark the answer. Yes, in this particular case, we are stuck. All the remaining 3 options are more than 720. 986, 993, 997. All are more than 720. So we will have to do the calculation. But you should know that option 2 and option 5 are blunders. If you have marked any of these 2, then you are absolutely wrong. Right? It cannot be 2 or 5. Now, what exactly is the answer? Let us find out. But before that, we should know what is the change in the volume. See, I know that initial volume is 720. If I can find out what is the change in the volume, I have been given the change. Percentage change in the sides. We know the percentage increments in the sides individually. But what is the percentage increase in the volume? If that can be evaluated, then you can solve the question very easily. I know the initial volume. I should know the percentage change in the volume. What will you use now? I am going to use this most important technique. If you ask me, the most important technique that at least I believe that we have in quantitative aptitude is the concept of effective percentage. Effective percentage, very, very important. Effective percentage is always measured as A plus B plus AB by 100%. A plus B plus AB by 100%. And this is one concept, of course, from the topic of percentages. We have discussed this in the, model, I think model 5 of the topic of percentages. I mean, if you look at the TalentSprint's videos on the topic of percentage, this is model number 5, the question type 5, where we have discussed the concept of effective percentage and solve some examples based on that. This is one question which is based on this. And effective percentage has got a lot of applications. It is used in profit and loss, it is used in simple and compound interest, it is used in mensuration, it is used in time and work, time and distance, data interpretation and whatnot. The idea is if 2 percentage changes are given to you, A and B are 2 percentage changes, then the overall change which is affected by both A and B can be measured as A plus B plus AB by 100%. So when 2 changes are given, the formula to be used is A plus B plus AB by 100. Similarly, for 3 changes, we can derive a formula A plus B plus C plus AB by 100 plus BC by 100 and whatever that long and crap formula is. But we have explained in our TalentSprint videos that you don't have to remember any formula other than this effective percentage. Very, very important. Very, very important. Whether there are 2 percentages or 3 percentages or 7 percentages, you can use the same formula to find out the overall percentage. What do? Let us apply the percentage, effective percentage formula on these 2 values first. So one change is 10%, the other change is 20%. What is the overall change because of this? A plus B plus AB by 100. So 10 plus 20 plus 10 into 20 by 100. Comes out to be what? See, 10 plus 20 is 30 and this is 2. 30 plus 2, 32%. Which means the effect of 10% and 20% is going to be 32%. The other change that I have is 5%. So now the resultant of 10 and 20 is 32 and then there is one more percentage, 5. Apply effective percentage once again on these 2 values. So instead of using a new formula, you use the same formula A plus B plus AB by 100 twice. It's simple. A plus B plus AB by 100, use it twice. If it is increments, use positive values. If it is decrement, let's say instead of increase, if it is given decrease, use negative values. Instead of 10 and 20, substitute minus 10, minus 20. Anyway, let's not get into all those basics. Let us just solve this one, right? The concept is there in the videos, you can check that. So 32 and 5, apply the effective percentage formula. What do? A plus B plus AB by 100. 32 plus 5 plus 32 into 5 by 100. And I think this is where smartness lies, right? I mean, if you do 10 and 20 effective change on paper, then you're not fit for the exam. This should not be put on paper in my view. 10 and 20 will give you 32. You should be able to do it mentally. 32 and 5 also you should be able to do mentally. Anyway, 32 plus 5, 37. And this is what? 32 into 5 is 160. 160 by 100 is 1.6. 37 plus 1.6 is 38.6%. Yes. Which means the overall effect of these three percentages, 5, 10 and 20 is going to be 38.6%. Is going to be 38.6%. Which means the new volume, what will be the new volume? Don't write NEWVOLUME in the exam. You won't get extra marks for this, right? Directly play with numbers. The new volume is going to be what? See, the increment is 38.6%. Initial volume is 100%. Initial volume is 100%. Any base value is 100%. Increment is how much? 38.6%. So what's the total new volume? 138.6%. 138.6% of what? The initial value. These are again smart ways of solving the question, right? I mean, don't do 720 plus 38.6% of 720. Directly you can say it is going to be 138.6% of 720. Now this calculation you need to do. 138.6% of 720 you have to calculate. But then don't panic. If you are smart, or if you use a smart method, like let's say units digit method, you don't have to do this calculation at all. Again, without putting pen on paper, you will know that the answer cannot be option 1 or option 3. How do I know that? Just focus on the unit spaces. See, forget about the 0 in the unit space. You understand? By basically what happens, if I have to let me write it here. 138, what are we doing? 138.6% of 720. What will it give you? 138.6 by 100 into 720. So this 0 and 0 gets cancelled and we get 138.6 into 7.2. Now forget about those decimals. Forget about those decimals. You know that one number ends in 6, the other number ends in 2. Wherever the decimal will come, we'll put it up. But one number ends in 6, the other number ends in 2. The result should end with what? 2. Units place method. We have discussed this in our video of simplifications, right? Units digit method. Units digit method, right? When one number ends in 6, the other number ends in 2, the answer has to end in 2. And that is it. First option ends in 4, cannot be the answer. Third option ends in 6, cannot be the answer. Fourth option ends in 2. And since this is the only option left out, I have no choice but to take it as the correct answer. So option 4, 997.92 is the final answer. 997.92 is the final answer. Do not waste your precious time in doing the exact calculation. If you are smart, if you use the smart techniques, like what I have explained to you here is the units digit method. Similarly, we have a root digit technique where you sum up the digits of the numbers and balance it out. Again, a very, very interesting concept from ancient Indian mathematics, Vedic mathematics, but that's not needed here. Unit space method is what works. Save your time. Now I'm glad that all of you have got 997.92. Good. Question to you all is, how many of you have done it in a smart way? Smart method using effective percentage and unit space method. I mean, if you have done the complete calculation for this question, I would still treat your answer as wrong. You've got it right, +1 for you. But what's the point in scoring 1 mark in 2 minutes when you can score the same 1 mark in 1 minute? Remember, I told you this question can be solved in about 45 seconds. On the higher side, 45 seconds. Because all I have to do is 2 effective percentage calculations and then I'll apply unit space method. So the question to you is, how many of you have used the smart method? You have got it right. How many of you have used the smart method? So comment either smart or stupid. I mean, I'm very clear. If you have done the calculation completely, 138.6% of 720, if you have solved that, or if you have done 720 plus 38.6% of 720, then you have been stupid, right? I mean, let's face it. I would be stupid if I do that, right? But if you have done it unit space method, you are smart. So my question to you all is, comment smart or comment stupid. Let me see how many of you have used the smart method. Balaji has mentioned that he has used the smart method as what we have seen here. Smart both in terms of effective percentage and the calculation technique. Look at that. Uni says stupid and wrong. Yeah. Jyoti says stupid. Vidya said stupid. Sid Shaw says I am stupid. Let's not generalize that you're stupid. But yeah, here you have behaved stupid if you have done the calculation. Arev, Branda, Chinnaswamy, right? Shashank Naidu. Accept that. Because only when you know what is your weakness, you'll be able to learn. So get the point that you have behaved stupidly. Sairam says, okay, Sairam has got a confusion. Sairam says, and then some of you are saying that, some of you have mentioned that you have followed the SMART method but got it wrong. Makes no sense. Yeah, SMART method and got it wrong, no use. Okay, somebody had asked me a question that increase in volume should be 38.6% of 720. Understand that one letter D changes the meaning. He did not ask us to find out the increase in volume. He asked us to find out the increased volume. You understand? I-N-C-R-E. How do you spell increase? I-N-C-R-E-A-S-E. Okay. I-N-C-R-E-A-S-E. Volume. Increase in volume is 38.6% of whatever value, 720. Increased volume is that new value, right? Increased ends with D. Then there's a final value. So that is the reason we have taken 136%, 138.6%, whatever that is. Should we go for the next one? Anu Malik says, I have used this effective percentage concept but not the SMART method. Yeah, so I'm getting a lot of comments, smart, stupid and all that. Nikunj Agarwal says, sir, I and Sagar did 720 into 21 by 20 into 11 by 10 into whatever. You can do that also. That also will give you the answer. But do you want to deal with all the calculation? Why? It is correct. You have increased the individual values. I mean, I'm taking the overall increment in percentage. You have done the individual values. Should we go for the next one? So I think my intent or objective here is not to show you down, right? I mean, I want you all to realize that a lot of better methods are there to get the answers. Next question on your screens now. I think this should probably be the last one from this DI set. We'll then jump to the independent ones. Oh, and a big question, 6-7 lines here. See this, a right circular cone of type C is exactly fitted inside type A cube in such a way that the base of the cone and that of the cube is touching each other, where diameter of the base of the cone is equal to the side of the cube and the vertex of the cone is on the opposite face of the cube. Find the slant height of the cube. Find the slant height of the cube. Let me see if the values are available, otherwise I'll write down the values so that you don't struggle with the graph. So he's talking about, where's my pen? Yeah. So right circular cone of type C, type C cone, red line 385. Yeah, so that's 385. I mean, I'm helping you with the numerical values here. Is exactly fitted into a type A cube. Type A cube is this green thing, 343. So this is 343. So the volumes are there with you. Now you don't have to worry about the graph. Get me the answer. Your time starts now. Sid Shaw says, okay, if there are two options ending with 2, then you do the calculation. If there are two options ending with 2, then do the calculation. Don't go by this average time. I can see some of you pointing out the average time. Average time is 7 seconds does not mean that everybody has got the answer in 7 seconds, right? You see, only 26% of the people have got it right. It will so happen, right? You will read the question and then you'll say, Baba, this to nahi ho payega, mujhse nahi, humse nahi ho payega ye. And you go to the next one. So if you have spent 10 seconds in reading it, whether you have solved it or not is different. Average time would mean time, you know, this is the average of time taken by people who have answered it, people who have got it wrong and people who have skipped it. Even while skipping, you end up spending 5-6 seconds, right? So that is the reason the average time is coming out to 7 seconds. Don't go by this. Apurva Rawat and Anil Kiran have already skipped it. DFG says I would skip it because look at the length of the question is what they say. Yeah, lengthy, but all that is lengthy need not be complex. Rahul says it takes 20 seconds to understand the question. Nobody has got me the answer so far, right? Everybody says skip. Okay, Preeti Deepak is the first one to respond. She's got option 3, half of square root of 3649. Menka says, is the whole class about mensuration or any other topic? No, we will take up other topics also. We have some questions from approximations and interesting ones from other areas, but you have to hold your breath for some time, right? I mean, we are in this data interpretation question based on mensuration. Dharani says, I am bad in mensuration, always I skip it. I don't understand how can one be bad in mensuration. This is a formula based topic, right? If you know the formula, you can try it. Otherwise, skip. Learn the formula. Diksha Kaushik has got half of square root of 349, which is not there in the options. Oh, half of square root of 349 is there, option 4. Sagar says, ये vertex क्या होता है? I forgot. Sagar, refresh your concepts. Go to the videos and watch. We have discussed all this in our videos, right? Complicated? Chalo, let us solve it now. I don't think many of you have got the answer. In fact, only I think a couple of you have marked the answer here, right? The most recent one is from Abhishek Chaubey, who's got option 3, and Parth Sharma, who's got 4. Rajesh has got 4. Samriddhi says, what is the slant height of a cube? Samriddhi, how one planet will the cube have a slant height? You know what a cube is? Cube is like a square dabba, right? Where will it have a slant height? Okay, let's solve this now. So the question says a right circular cone of type C is exactly fitted inside a type A cube in which in such a way. Okay, find the slant height of a cube. I think the question itself is slant height of a cube. Yeah, it does not agree. He actually means slant height of the cone here. I'm sorry about this. This should not be cube. Yeah, so Samriddhi, you're right. What do you mean by slant height of a cube? This is not cube, this is cone. Slant height of a cone. Find the slant height of the cone, right? Cube will not have the slant height. So basically it says a right circular cone of type C is exactly fitted inside a type A cube in such a way that the base of the cone and that of the cube is touching each other. The diameter of the base of the cone is equal to the side of the cube. And the vertex of the cone is on the opposite face of the cube. Find the slant height. So you got to understand the figure again, right? Let's say this is the cube. I mean, I'm giving you the front view of the diagram here, right? So in this, what happens is the cone would, let me draw the cone in a different color so that's easy to follow, right? The cone would be, you understand, this is the front view of the cone inside the cube. So there is a cube, there's a type A cube, we know the volumes already, in which we have put up a right circular cone. It has been put in such a way that you see the base, it says that the base of the cone and that of the cube are touching each other. So see, base of the cone is touching the base of the cube. And the vertex of the cone, what is this? This is the vertex of the cone, right? The top end of the cone is on the opposite face of the cube. So if this is the face, this is the base, the opposite face is this. So this is exactly fitting inside a cube here. Now find the slant height of the cube. So basically we need to find out the slant height. How much is this slant height is the question, not cube. Apologies for that, it should be cone. Find the slant height of the cone. Okay, you understand? I mean, again, this is only the front view, but that's enough in my view. We can solve the question now. I hope you have understood. Now, if you understand, again, I think I need to draw the base. This is the front view. This is the front view. Let me also draw the bottom view of this. What happens is, if you look at the bottom, that base of the cone, right, this one, will exactly you know, overlap with the base of the, this is not looking like a circle, but please adjust, huh? Yeah, I think good only. My drawing skills have improved. So this is what happens. You see, it says the diameter of the base of the cone, the base of the cone's diameter, right, is equal to the side of the cube. This is the side of the cube, S. So diameter is equal to the side. Yeah. So this is basically the diagram. This is the bottom view, the front view and the bottom view. Now you need to merge these two and visualize the diagram there. Okay. Now, what all do you understand from this? I think due to lack of space, I will do the solution here on the graph. I will overlap with the graph, but simple one. We want to find out the slant height of the cube, slant height of the cone. Slant height of the cone. What is the slant height of the cone? Slant height of the cone is root over r square plus h square, where r is the radius and h is the height. R is the radius and h is the height. Understand, the diameter of the cone is equal to the side of the cube. What is the volume of the cube? Volume of the cube is 343. So volume of the cube is equal to s cube, which is equal to 343, which implies s, the side is equal to 7, because 7 cube is 343. Now we have already understood that diameter of the cone is equal to s, which implies 2 times the radius is equal to 7. S is 7, so 2r is 7, implies r is equal to 7 by 2. So the radius of the cone, diameter is 7, so radius will be 7 by 2. What will be the height? Understand, height, radius we have already got. What is the height? Easy. Very clearly, the question tells us that the height of the cone, you see, it does not tell us that the height of the cone is equal to the height of the cube, but it tells us that the vertex of the cone is on the opposite face of the cube. So if you observe, this is the height h of the cone, This is the radius r, which we have already calculated, 7 by 2. But the height of the cone is equal to the side of the cube, because both of them are equal, right? The base of the cone is here on the base of the cube, and the vertex of the cone is in the opposite face. So clearly the height is equal to s, right? So I can conclude that this s equals to the height of the cone. So height is 7. Height is equal to the side, which is 7. Radius is equal to half of side, which is 7 by 2. Done. Substitute the values now. You don't have to do all this drama in the exam, drawing the figures and all that. You just have to understand that the side of the cube is 7. Side of the cube is 7. So height will be 7 and radius will be half of 7. This would take less than 15 seconds in my view if you can visualize the diagram, right? Now substitute and get the answer. So we need the slant height, root over r square plus h square. So root over r square, 7 by 2 whole square plus h square. What is h? Height. Yeah, 49. I mean 7 square, right? Do that calculation. So 49 by 4 plus 49. I'm sure half will be common. What is inside the root we have to calculate, right? Yeah, do the calculation. So what do we get? Root over 49 by 4 plus this is 49. So 49 times 5 basically. You understand? 49 into 4 plus 49. 49 into 5, 245. And this will give you half of square root of 245. I think that's the answer, which is not there in any of the options. Option 5, none of this will be correct. Yeah, option 5, none of this will be the correct answer. Very simple, very simple. You do, in fact, if you observe, we don't have to use the volume of the cone at all, right? Volume of the cone is not needed here. Getting it? Option 5, none of this will be the correct answer. None of these. Because he clearly mentions that the base of the cone is equal to the side of the cube. I mean, diameter of the base is side of the cube. So diameter d is equal to side. So 2r is equal to 7, r is 7 by 2. And the vertex of the cone is on the opposite face. So vertex is on the opposite face, sorry. And the base is here, which means the height of the cone will be equal to side of the cube. See, this is slant height. I mean, don't get confused. This is not side, this is slant height, which we have calculated here. So yeah, 49 times 5, 245. Square root of 245 by 2 will be the final answer. Option 5, none of these.